right, guys, this is my first drive in a BMW i8. I'm excited. Man, the doors are just so much drama. Man. So in 2006, I had a Chevy Tahoe and I put the Lamborghini doors on it. You know, like one of the first in the city with the Lamborghini doors back then. Man, the drama and just riding around with the doors up. Man, but this is the real deal right here. This is no bolt-on kit like we used to do back in the day. Man, this really feels like a supercar. That's my first impression. And you know, I've ridden in, you know, Lamborghinis, Aston Martins. This feels no different. No different.
You definitely are sitting low. You have the short hood, and yeah, it doesn't feel like any other car that's out there, to be honest with you. And right now we're rolling in electric mode.
Okay.
Just simply because that's the default. They really want you to use electric more than anything right off the bat. But when you're pulling hills and things like this, then it doesn't feel like it's really taking much power to go up them, but you're using more power.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a little gauge with the range is going to start to go down more.
Okay.
As you start to go up hills and things like that. Same with the heat. It's electric heat right now because you have no engine running.
So Pat, tell us, how long have you been into cars?
Oh, well, my dad was a mechanic, so I was always exposed to cool cars growing up.
Nice.
And it really wasn't expensive cars, but I would say he really enjoyed working on them, and he really enjoyed helping other people work on their cars. So
right.
I was exposed to that, but he also used to take me to car shows and car cruises, and that gave me the opportunity to learn more about, you know, cars of the 50s and 60s that were from his era.
So you blessed us with a interview on Cartalk TV. We certainly appreciate that. You know, you had
my pleasure.
Yeah. So for the folks who have not seen that, you know, obviously you can go and see that as well. He gives a great insight about his background. But you know, you mentioned you had a Corvette. And then you got the i8, obviously. Were you always one of those people who were into, you know, the do-it-yourselfers?
Yeah, my dad always said you can always do so much with your own hands and buy the parts for so cheap that you could always do the work yourself up to a certain extent.
Right.
And at the same time, not only are you saving a lot of money, but you're learning. And it's a job well done at the end of the day. You feel like you've actually accomplished something. So yeah, it was interesting for me when I was 19. I bought my first Corvette on military income. I had barely any money coming in, and I saw this 1978.
But you needed that car.
I needed a car. I saw this 1978 Corvette outside of Fort Meade, and it was like a brown-looking car because it was a metallic mahogany with a tan interior, which they called doe skin, but it had the 4-speed and it had the wind-down windows. It was the cheapest 78 Corvette they made, and I said, I'm going to buy that car. And when I bought it, I took it back home. My dad said, I don't know what you're getting into. I don't know anything about these things. And he said, no, if you're going to run into problems, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's a Corvette.
Right, yeah.
But he helped me work on it. And he and I worked on it together. When I would come up, I only lived 3 hours away. I'd come up, he'd show me what I got to do in order to help fix it. We had the manuals. We dug into it together. So totally restored the car, started taking trophies at car shows.
Nice. Okay, so you did put your car in car shows?
Yes, I did.
Nice. So what all you had done to it?
So I pretty much worked on everything on the car. So the interior was ratty, the engine compartment, everything was rusty, and even the frame. So I tore everything off. Like I would tear everything out of the engine compartment that I could. It was a Chevy blue engine block, so I resprayed the entire thing blue again after I sanded everything down, tore the valve covers off, redid those same way. Carburetor was all messed up, so I went and decided I would rebuild the carburetor. I'd never done that before. Took the air cleaner off the car and put on a chrome air cleaner, so it looked good under the hood. And then the interior actually bought dye, so I was able to re-dye all the leather inside the car. I reupholstered the seats. I put new carpet in the car. I mean, I did all the things to the car that I could possibly do on the military income that I had. And then I started winning trophies at car shows, and it was mainly classic car shows. You know, people that brought Corvettes, Mustangs, you know, the Bel Airs, you know, Chevy Bel Airs, things like that. Nothing that was really showy. It was more of a car show for people that were trying to show a restored version of an original car for the most part. So that's where I started to really make more of an impact, is, you know, making the car work and look better.
Right, right. Have you ever attended Carlisle up in Pennsylvania?
Yes, I have. I've been to Corvette to Carlisle, and I got parts up there as well back in the when was it? The mid-90s, mid and late 90s when I was up there. I got Corvette parts to help restore my interior, and that's actually where I got the dye from. In order to, yeah, I have a history of Carlisle. Now we're coming up here to a stop, and I'm going to put it in sport mode. So now you've been experiencing the electric mode, which is very efficient and it's quiet.
Yeah, super quiet. It's comfortable as well.
We're going to throw it in sport mode up here, and now we're going to hear what it's like to have an engine behind us.
Tachometer changes. Now it's red. So you got it's an RPM gauge now, right?
That's correct. So
see,
we went from
I learned that from watching your video with your guy. I'm not going to pronounce his name right. It begins with an A. One of your old co-workers, Ahmad or Arnaud or something.
Arnab, yeah.
Oh, and it sounds different as well. You can hear the growl.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I opened the valve in the exhaust, so now you can actually hear a growl. Before you couldn't. There was not really much of a growl there, because there's two exhaust outputs coming out of the muffler, and one has a valve that would shut, and it would only open when you'd be full throttle or under a lot of load.
Cool stuff. So from the Corvette to the I8, how long of a gap? Woo, hold on. These cars are fast. They're fast. They sound great. Man, oh, you got some people out there that's downgrading the I8, man. The I8 is not a downgrade at all, man. It's not a slouch. Oh man, I see why E-Vapors loves his car. I see why you love the I8. I would definitely get one of these, man.
And that's why you can go from quiet commuting car to, hey, there's somebody pulling up next to me on the highway. Now I want to have a little fun with them.
Exactly.
Just move that stick over, you're one click away, and that's it.
Yep. So from the Corvette to the I8.
Yes.
I know you said, you know, you took a step back.
I did. And
how long was it in between?
And I had bought another Corvette. I got sick of that 78 Corvette, and in 2000 I bought a 97 Corvette.
Okay.
So at that point I was able to learn more about the higher end platform. I had air conditioning now. I had power windows. I had, you know, 6 speeds instead of 4. It was definitely a great car, and that's when I started to help other people on the forums learn how to work on the car.
Yeah, you built your own forum.
I did. And the reason for that was to make sure that people understood this car, even though it's new and technological, isn't that different than any other car. You could do an oil change on it. You could put headers on it and a high flow cat and new exhaust. I did all that. I showed people how to do it. Exactly. Yeah. So at that point, it was like, that was fun and interesting to me. But I got taken out by a layoff because of the financial crisis at the time in 2009. 2009. And in 2010, that was it. I had to go. So the car went. So from 2010 until 2019, I had no sports car.
So let's stay here for just a quick second.
Sure.
You as being a car enthusiast, was it difficult going without a car for that long?
Yes, it was. But I had to make a mental change. I had to stop wanting it. And I think that's one of the harder things to do sometimes, is to just remind yourself that times are tough right now. You may see things that look cool and exciting, and you may want to go out and enjoy life, but right now is not your time. You know, hold on, wait, save up some money, and then do it right. And that's what I had to do. I had to say, I'm not going to spend any more money. I'm just going to save my money up. I'm going to find a Corvette again one day. And that's when I fell into this. So,
gotcha. Yeah. So what were you trying to get into? Whatever the newest Corvette would want to be at the time?
Yeah, I wanted a brand new C7, or, you know, just either a Stingray or a Z06. I wanted it.
Gotcha. I mean, I got a similar story. You know, when I traded in my Benz, you know, it really was to set up my financial future. Right. I didn't care how long it was going to take. You know, me being a car guy and having a name Car Show Rail, I was like, man, forget that stigma of, oh, you cars you run, you don't have a car. Like, you know, I said if it takes me 4 or 5 years to come back on the scene with whatever the newest, you know, Mercedes, you know, at that time would have been either 2018 or 2019. I said, you know, I'm gonna take a step back, give it 4 or 5 years, invest in some things, and, you know, come back with the whatever newest vehicle. As far as the CLS or Mercedes S550 platform.
Yeah.
And, you know, by the grace of God, you know, it came a lot sooner. 8 months later,
Hey,
I wasn't
awesome.
not only into, you know, starting my own business. I wasn't not only into, you know, having a car, but, you know, I leaped over my dreams, which was the Mercedes. Like, I got a Bentley, which was, man, it just blew my mind at that point. And, you know, same with you. Ooh, look at this nice, it's nice. You know, I not only got you know, a car, I got into, you know, the Bentley. And the same for you. You not only wanted the newest Corvette, which would have been the Stingray at the time.
Yeah.
You got an i8. So were you always working on the i8 from day one ownership?
I was afraid of the car. I didn't want to kill myself. I said, this is a hybrid. I've never owned a hybrid before.
Right.
I watch Rich Rebuilds on the internet, and I see him taking all these chances with these cars, and he's blowing up battery packs, almost catching his shop on fire. I mean, I don't want to be that guy.
Exactly.
You know? So yeah, getting access to the service manual online and being able to see exactly what steps I need to do in order to take care of myself and prevent myself from getting hurt. Yeah, that was what I needed to do. And after that, I went on the forums and people were like, I don't know how to do an oil change in this car. So, well, it can't be that hard. You know, let me jack the car up.
Right.
I did an oil change. Okay, that wasn't bad. I popped the wheels off. I took a look and inspected what was going on, you know, inside the wheel wells. And I said, this really isn't that hard. I put a car or a cell phone mount here in the car. That's not that hard.
Exactly.
And other people are asking the questions over and over again. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I said, the heck with it. I'm just going to create a video and put it up on YouTube. And then after that, it became another video, another video, another video. And then people saying, your audio needs to be better, Pat. Your lighting needs to be better, Pat. And all of a sudden, I'm spending all this time trying to make sure that I am making things more clear. And before you know it, people are like, oh, you're like an authority on this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm just a car guy. You know, YouTube isn't the thing I wanted to start, you know, but it turned into that. Now with 3,000 subscribers, I can't believe 3,000 people actually want to see me regularly. Okay, so yeah, I'm creating as much content as I can.
Nice.
And if it's not i8 content, it'll be something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, once you got a platform, it just follows along with you in your whole journey. You mentioned that you took this car on a rally.
Yeah.
With Sunset. You know,
yes.
shout out to Sunset Auto Club.
Yep.
They run, you know, a great rallies. You know, I've been on two of their rallies that they had. How did the i8 do in the rally?
Excellent. Now I was behind a Camaro ZL1.
Okay.
And that ZL1 was taking the corners better than I could.
Right.
And that bothered me. So I went out and I researched what I needed to do to improve the handling of this car. So I put wider tires in the front, and it no longer had handling problems in a different factory. So a lot of people said you go into a turn and it feels like it wants to push.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to turn. And that oversteer scared a lot of people. And I said, I need to fix this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my experience. And after that, I mean, I enjoyed it. I kept up with them, but you know, I needed to make some changes.
Man, this car is amazing, guys. I'm telling you, this car is amazing. If you ever get an opportunity to buy an i8, do it for sure. So after the i8, what's next?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've been hanging around with supercar owners, and that's the problem. The i8 opens up a category of class of cars that you're welcome into, and you know, that's great. I really enjoy hanging around with those supercar guys, but this car's not a supercar.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people think it is, but you know, compared to real supercars, this isn't it.
Yeah, and this thing pushes you back in the seat. It pushes you back. And it's going in the corner as well. Is that because of the tires?
Both the tires, and it's all-wheel drive.
going, but we were moving. Oh man. Man, this car is a blast. You think they're gonna bring out something in the future that's gonna be supercars but non-hybrid?
I don't think BMW is going to go that direction unless it's full electric. And then they may improve the styling to be just as appealing as the i8, but it's going to be an electric car.
All electric.
Yep.
Okay. Similar to Teslas.
Absolutely. It's going to be all electric. Because the EU is really forcing manufacturers to go into electric. And now California has passed a law that said all cars need to be electric in 2035.
Really?
So you cannot buy a gas car in California after 2035. And New Jersey just said the same thing. We're going to push the same law. So what they're trying to do is turn the whole country into electric by a certain date. And you can still have a gas car.
Yeah.
But you can't buy a gas car new at that point.
Interesting.
So that's the way that they're going to drive that change.
So, you know, Rolls-Royce and Bentley, you know, they just predicted, I guess, like their 2030-ish cars that they revealed last year, and they were electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, obviously they got the whole insight on the whole game of where things are going to be.
Yeah.
That leads me to think that, man, 15 years, Bentley, you know, and those high-end prestige cars, they're going to be full electric, no more gas cars.
Yes.
Man, that's interesting.
I'm going to stop here at the school.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let you take over.
Oh, y'all hear that? I get to ride the i8. Oh, boy. That's going to be dope, man. That's going to be dope. I get to get behind the wheel and see how this car performs. All right, guys, we pulled over. I'm about to drive the i8. So make sure y'all check the next video because it's coming soon. I'm excited.